the family in the car. It's that time of year. Wonder and excitement wait at Gillian's Wonderland Pier. Try the roller coaster ride or the giant wheel and touch the sky. Summer days and nights, Wonder Bear will be your guide. Fun for every age and size. Make the summer come alive. Wonder and excitement wait at Gillian's Wonderland Pier. Gillian's Wonderland Pier. Gillian's Wonderland Pier. Gillian's Wonderland Pier.
Get ya. No clue about what's happening to you. And before this night is through, ooh, baby, the rhythm is gonna get ya. The rhythm is gonna get ya. The rhythm is gonna get ya.
Nice.
Coming up next, a crusty, dusty, musty, moldy, golden oldie, straight from our record vault.
Totally original. That's what I think this is rock of all. It has to be.
Sonic, and then do the Oh, by the way, for anyone wondering what goes on in my head, this is what goes on in my head sometimes. The mind of Alex Corson. Especially these guys right here. So we got a few more things that we kept all these years. We have, I believe this is Hank's original red shirt that we used. No, this is the original red shirt. This is it. And then we changed it again, and then we changed it a third time because Butters found that shirt because it looked closer to what he had back then. And this is Tony's original suit. Well, no, not that. It's the one I brought back in 2014.
Tell me something, Helen. Certainly not. If a girl doesn't fall for my monstrous good looks and my pearly white jagged teeth, do you think I could win her heart by being a really good dancer?
Well, you could, but it would be an awfully amazing feat.
That's okay. I've got awfully amazing feet.
Hi guys, Dan McDermott here with another tour of Wonderland Pier. Today we're going to be showing you the Frontier Express monorail, which is an original attraction. It was installed in 1965, but today we're going to show you some interesting facts about the ride, so let's go.
But it wasn't, it didn't look like a train. It was, I guess you could say it was, but it was really a homemade looking thing. And the seats, were, I remember one time I pushed that whole train the full length of this building because it stopped out here and there was people on it. And I remember that as long as I live, I think, because I don't know how I did it. I got it back and I had to go down and sit in the office or under there because my heart was pumping so bad. Never forget that. Now they got it so we used to tie a rope to the engine and the guys used to get out here in the line and pull them in on the rope, That happened a few times.
When I first started working here, It was a train in the sense of 5 or 6 cars all tied together, and it ran just around the inside of the building. It didn't go outdoors at that time. It did 2 loops around the inside of the building. Was a full ride. I guess where the exit station is now of the monorail, that's where the 6 cars lined up, and they were all tied together. When the lead train went out, the others they all went together. The monorail track that went outside, we were involved in the installation of that. Dave Windows was his name. Him and a welder came out and assisted us in putting the track together. He brought the cars out, and we built the steel structure to the track, attached the electric to the track, and installed the cars. I'll say that was 85 or 86, and around that area. That door originally came down to the ground. Now we had the door just come halfway down. So we had to build a steel beam across that doorway to support the monorail track, which now went through the door. So therefore, the door only came down to where that steel beam was, and then the lower half of the door was then installed below that.
They fit a total of 8 passengers. They also have lap bars that secure the riders in. To open them up, you have to press down on this lever here, and it releases both of them, and you pull them upward. Sitting in the train, we just simply get in. Operator pushes the lap bar down. If they have another guest that's riding alongside them, they can sit here. Most parents put their children in the middle here just because of the opening here, and you can fit 3 people per row. Oh yeah. The motor for the train is in the back, which we'll show you in a minute. But there's an actual wheel here that guides the train onto the track.
Now these latch doors, these were added on about 7 years ago.
Yep, 2018.
Yeah, 2018. Okay. This is a lot easier for working on them.
Yeah, before we used to have to go underneath the train.
Yeah, we would either have to go down into the pit, or that chain over there, all the way over there, that chain would lift the car up under here, under the wood, right there.
So this makes the maintenance of the ride a little bit easier. But as you can see, it's a little difficult to see, but if you look underneath here, there's a guide wheel underneath the train, or underneath the seat here. Over here, we have a plaque that each ride has. We have the manufacturer, which was made by Sanford in 1965. Sanford is the original manufacturer of the ride. He built it in 1965. And then in 1984 and 1985, when the monorail was expanded outside, Dave Windows was the guy who helped with that project. So the ride is just classified as Sanford/Windows. It has the year of the manufacturer, which is 1965. The ride serial number. Each ride in the state of New Jersey is given a serial number, and that is there. Another cool, really cool area up here is that's still here, believe it or not, this state inspection sticker from 1997.
From 1997, state inspection sticker. They never got rid of it.
And it's been there all this time. You know, pretty cool thing to look at. We just figured it out and it was there. Do you believe that after all this time?
Yeah.
We just realized it was up there.
The lighting on the trains did not come with the train originally. They were designed by a company in New York. It looked spectacular for a number of years, and slowly those lights would break, and they were on the spokes of the wheels right where the people climbed into the car. They were constantly kicking them, constantly breaking them off. Little by little the spokes came off, so it got to a point where they looked terrible half lit, so that's when we stripped the lights off the cars. We actually kept the headlights on the cars a little longer. We finally took them off because as it makes a turn around our neighbors out here on I guess Plaza Place and Wayne Avenue, the headlights would shine right into one of the condos, and they didn't particularly care for that. So we, at the request of one of the neighbors, we took the headlights off.
Some of them have the holes. The face, of course, has been repainted many times.
Here are the holes right here where the spotlights used to sit.
Yes.
You can see where they used to be.
Yeah.
And right about...
We had lights around the top area of the smokestack here.
We did. And some of them, on some of the... Here we go. Here's a hole. That used to be a hole right there. It's plugged up. But that was where the lights hung around right up here.
And there was an extra part of the smokestack that was taken out back in the mid-2000s when the trains were refurbished. That area was also a light strand at the top here of this circle, and they had a chaser mechanism on the lights that would allow the lights to flash.
So right here, to make the lights move back in the day, we had 3 orange rails running here. You only see 2. There used to be a third one for the lights, and that one hung right in this little bracket right over here. So back then we had a third orange rail running, and that's what the lights would run on. Because you notice the lights would only turn on whenever the train would move. If the train was sitting, the lights wouldn't turn on. And we'll show you guys how this ride operates when we go underneath the trains. We're going to show you guys how we change the shoes on the trains. We usually do that once a week, usually every 7 days. It depends on how long you run the trains. Because what the shoes are, they're these little things, these little metal pieces that get hooked into the orange rails. Now, there's 2 shoes on each train. So if we have a set of 2 trains, that's 4 shoes. So it's 20 shoes altogether because there's 10 trains. So eventually, the more you run the train, that metal shoe will wear down, 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 because it's shaving metal as time goes on, because it's burning electricity when it goes around. So by the time it gets down to the nub, it's not going to be able to touch the electric in the orange rail anymore, and the train is just going to get stuck out there. So we usually change them like once a week, but in the pre-season we usually change them like once a month. Maybe twice a month, I don't know. Like it's very rare. During the summertime, we're changing them almost every week.
We have to change them every week because the trains are constantly running. During the pre-season, we're only open on the weekends, so it makes it a little bit easier. But yeah, once a week is about when we change the shoes.
Right, and we'll show you guys how we change them. You know, that's going to be a really cool experience. And we'll show you guys what the monorail tunnel looks like. I know you guys want to know what's inside the tunnel and all that. But basically, that's the idea, and we'll get underneath because we're going to change. I'm going to change the shoes this morning before we open. But for now, we'll give you guys a tour of the tunnel up here at Frontier Station, and we'll show you guys what's inside here. So we are inside the tunnel here at Gillian's Wonderland Pier. Now, this used to be a storage room. We used to have a door on here. I don't know what happened to the door.
So the bathroom was actually back in this corner of the building.
Yeah, it was
a tiny bathroom.
It was tiny. Like, this used to be a wall right here, and this is where the bathroom was.
They took the bathroom out, I want to say, after 2012. Because Brian left in 2012.
I think it was around like 2014 when they took it out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the first couple of years we were here, it was here.
I had heard the bathroom was really
Now this is stuff that we have. These are all the bumpers from Scooter Bumper Cars, and here are the candles from the birthday party area that Wayne made. Wayne made these. But yeah, this used to be the bathroom. And now when the pizza shop was built, all this stuff here, these vents right here, this stuff wasn't here. This stuff was not here. This was only put in after the pizza shop was brought in, and that was in the spring of 2016 when we were making the pizza shop. But yeah, these vents weren't up here at all.
Oh no.
Yeah, so this is what it looks like, and this is all stuff for the monorail, spare parts, shoes, brackets, wires, you know, stuff we need for
trolley wheels
for the train. Yeah. So if we ever need to fix stuff, instead of running all the way to the maintenance shop, it's right here inside the tunnel, which makes it a lot easier. Now, I was told that back in the 90s, the air compressor for the man and dog was in here. And I'm imagining it was probably somewhere over here, if I were to guess. It was probably over here. Now, that hole right there, that used to be from an air conditioner that would sit in there. In fact, in the 90s, you can see some pictures of the AC unit sitting in there, and that's where we had the conductor standing to hide that hole. But yeah, this is the tunnel. This is what it looks like. Trains come through here, and yeah, so this is what the inside of it looks like. This hasn't changed. So anyway, that's pretty much the inside. Oh, and I always keep a spare roll of paper towels right there, just in case, because if somebody's drinking a soda or something on a train and they spill it, you got paper towels to wipe it down. I've been doing that for years. I think since the first year I've kept paper towels there. Here's the light for the tunnel, on and off. Yep. And here's the key. We keep the key up here on this hook. This is to turn the trains on Monorail 4, Zone 4, and we'll explain to you how it works when we show you how to operate the ride.
So the ride operates in 4 different zones, which means the trains will move on your control. We'll show you the operator control panel and how that works. So right over here, the zones I was explaining to you about are labeled here, and it says Zone 1, Zone 2, and Zone 3.
You have 3 zones on here that you operate on the loading section. The unloading section, that person over there, they control Zone 4. There are 4 zones. So Zone 1 is from this fence right here all the way to the front of the tunnel. Zone 2 is inside the tunnel. Zone 3 is behind the man and dog. Now, the one thing you want to make sure of is before you start letting people on, you got to make sure all your trains are moved up. Because the last thing you want is the unloading guy to have his trains backed up, because trains are just going to keep coming in. So before you start letting people on, make sure all your trains are pulled up first. At least that's what I always did. So what you do is, because these 2 trains are connected, when they come out of the tunnel, the back train is going to be in Zone 2, because it's inside the tunnel. The front train is going to be in Zone 1. And the one thing you gotta make sure of is you want to make sure that you don't have the trains smash into each other. It makes a really loud sound and it drives me nuts. So we can't run the train right now because we have the doors closed, monorail doors. And we'll show you guys a little secret about the monorail doors with the pins. We'll show you about that. So this emergency stop right here, when you pull this up, it lights up. Now you notice nothing's happening right now because we have the doors shut. It's not turned on right now. So we have Zone 1, Zone 2, and Zone 3. And Zone 4, that's where the key goes in. You put the key in and you turn it, and that'll move the train from Zone 4 into Zone 3. Because usually when the maintenance men are checking the ride up here, there usually isn't someone on the opposite side. You just turn the key and it comes in. Now sometimes we'll have 2 guys, one will be here and the other will be over there. Because sometimes I like to go over there and check the button, make sure the button's working okay. Because that key is not for the ride operators, it's for maintenance only. Now, the thing is, when you send a train out, you want to push Zone 1, and it's going to take it. You don't have to hold the button down the whole time. As soon as the train leaves the station, it's going to go. Because the electric from the fence all the way until the Frontier Express sign is connected on a separate charge, right? I think it's a separate one, right?
It's a separate,
yeah, because the train just keeps going and going.
Yep.
And then when it comes out of that and it starts moving into what we call Zone 4, it's going to start to slow down. Why is it slowing down? Because nobody's pushing the button for Zone 4 because it's on a different electric. So push that and then it's going to keep running. And that's how we do it. But when you push the button, you always want to make sure that you take your finger off the button, leave enough time for it to keep going because the train's just going to keep gliding. And we'll show you guys how that works. So we're going to show you guys how we change the shoes. Come on down with me. This is a lot of fun. Now under here, this is one of them. We pull this down and we check it. Now, this actually isn't too bad. This actually looks okay. But when we change it, we put it back up, you want to make sure it lines right back inward. Right in there.
Like that since
Okay.
the 80s. That has not changed
It hasn't changed, huh?
in 40 years. So
Nope, it's still the same.
it's still the same way that they changed it back then.
Right. So we have one shoe on this rail, and the back shoe is on the other rail, which is right over there. And we have to change. And there's two of them for each train. But you always have to be careful about when you put them back on the electric. You always have to be careful about that, because God forbid if it's not hooked in properly, when the train goes, it could mess up the entire orange rail. And we've had that happen once or twice. So you always got to be careful about that. So this is what the pit looks like. This is one of the shoes right here. Now you can tell this is a brand new one because you see this line right here? When the shoe gets worn down to that line, that's when you want to change them. Because this is running in the electric like this the whole time. That's what makes the train move. So this is a new one. We're definitely going to change these. But yeah, so that's pretty much how you do it. And what happens is these are in, we put these right in here. So we pop the old one out, put the new one in, we wire it in with the wire so that it's connected, and then we put it right inside the orange rail. And that's it. Okay guys, so we're going to show you how to open up the monorail doors. Now, the doors have changed over the years. It used to be they would open at the same height as the other doors, and I remember the smokestack, when the train would go out, it would barely hit the door frame by like that much. But in 2009, they expanded it, so now the door frames are much wider now. You'll notice they're a lot bigger. When you open up these doors, there's a little pin that's sitting at the top. You have to open up both doors to the point where when you open the door, it has to push the pin back. That turns the ride on. If the door is not pushing that pin back, the ride's not gonna turn on. It's a safety thing. Because God forbid, if a cable snaps and the door comes down, it'll shut the ride off. That way a train won't keep going and smash into the door. The train will just stop. So that's good. That's a good thing. Okay, now, the door is open. But, is it pushing the pin back? Do you see the pin up there? Do you see it? Okay, that door has to push the pin back in order to turn on the ride. So here we go. Even though the door's wide open, keep pulling. And perfect. It's pushing it. Now to lock it, put the chain in, put the other one in, lock it. There we go. It's pushing the pin back, the door's wide open, and the chain is locked in. And now we do the same thing with the other door. This was a lot easier to open when NASCAR Speedway was in this area, but now you gotta squeeze through the Taj Mahal, so here we go. Now, this panel right here, a couple secrets. Open this up. The star facades used to be, this is where you would turn on the stars. In here, and we had a little area, a little label that said star. Is that what it said?
Star and door lights.
Star and door lights. Yeah, because we had the lights around the doors too, and we would turn them on, and so that's where these switches were. Here's the other monorail door. Now, do you see the pin? Do you see the pin? Yep. It's really tiny. It's right there in the middle. Yep, that's it. So, we're gonna open the door, so that way the pin can be pushed back. Here we go. Pull it down. There we go. Door's open, this is locked, the pin is pushed back, that means the ride is ready to be turned on. Now let's go upstairs and double check. When I pull this e-stop up, if it lights up, we'll know it's on and it'll make a noise over there. Here we go, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Yep, it works. Okay. And now, we're gonna put the key that I was telling you about into Zone 4. Now the ride is ready to be inspected. And what we do is we check the lap bars, we check the wheels underneath, we check the shoes, make sure everything is good. Okay, so you got everybody strapped in, your enter gate is locked, so nobody else comes in, you've collected your tickets, you've collected the card credits, you're ready to send it out. You checked all 4 lap bars, and here we go. Zone 1. See how the electricity just takes it? Because it's no longer in Zone 1, so it's just going to take it out. Okay, now we're going to bring up the trains. Now that is in Zone 2 because it's inside the tunnel. So Zone 2. Now, let go. Now you see how it's halfway into Zone 1? That means we have to go to Zone 1. So push Zone 1. Just tap the button. And that's it. That's it. Now you're ready to load. But you don't want to send this train past this fence, because if it goes past the fence, the electric's just going to take it. Now we want to pull up the rest of the train. So Zone 2. And now Zone 3. And there we go. And then Zone 4, that guy will move his train over and around. And that's it. That's how you do it. So now you're ready to load more trains. Now let's say you have a train that's ready to go. You're ready to send it out. You can't send it out because the train up in front of it is still inside the building. So that train is still inside the building, and that's how we space the trains out. You always want to space them out. You don't want the trains to get too close to each other. So before you send the next one out, the one in front of it has to be outside the building. Okay? So as soon as it leaves the building, you check the bars, everybody's ready to go. Zone 1. It's a pretty easy ride to operate. You just got to get in the zone of it. So now, Zone 2. Okay, it's halfway out. Zone 1. Pull it up. It's in Zone 1 now. Okay, there we go. Now that's up. Zone 2 again, because I don't see anything in the tunnel. Okay, and now Zone 3. So it's a pretty easy thing to operate. It's very easy. Now, and here's a maintenance button right here in case we need to call somebody for maintenance.
Monorail maintenance.
And we used to have flowers in these bins right there in the corner down there. We used to have ivy hanging on the side here too. We still have ivy hanging over there and behind the man and dog, but we don't have it hanging over here. Yeah, well, I don't know. Okay, so the train is about to come in. Now you'll see it start to slow down right when it gets to the Frontier Express sign. Now why did it slow down? Because it's no longer in the electric signal that is outside on the train. It's now into Zone 4. And there's nobody controlling Zone 4. Well, there we go. Turn the key. Now it's in Zone 4. Point does it go from Zone 4 to Zone 3? As soon as it passes that big brown box in the corner, the brown and orange box, once it passes that, it's into Zone 3. Once it's behind the man and dog, that's Zone 3. Zone 2 is the tunnel, Zone 1 is the station. So that's it. It's easy. I miss the chain. We used to have a little chain that hung up here. You know, I don't like this gate. I hate this gate. I think the state made us put this gate in. But yeah, so that's the Frontier Express.
We had individual cars running around, and we always had the problem where whatever would happen, they would be out there. And my son Jay, believe it or not, he said, "Dad, why don't you put 2 together, and then if the motor goes down or something goes flat on it, the other car can pull it around." Because what we used to do, we used to stand up there with a switch and watch it. The train would come up behind it, you know, and then we'd quick shut it off and come up behind it, and then you give it a shot, and it would push it around. So a couple of years after we had Jay said we ought to put them together, and then it worked.
Usually when we start a shift, we have the operators grab the ticket boxes from the middle of the building, and they take them to their ride. Now this ticket box always stays here. It stays here as a seat. You can sit down from time to time if nobody's on the ride, all the trains are in, you can sit down. Or in the case of some operators, you might not be tall enough to reach the button. So they'll turn this on its side and you can stand on it to hit the button.
So here's the buttons. Now, this E-stop, never, ever, ever, ever touch. Never touch that. This is the switch for the lights up here. This is the button. You push this button, the ride moves. But you only want to hold it just like that, okay? Now, I hit the E-stop, that's why it's not moving. But this is the button you push for when you want to bring the train in. When the train starts to slow down out there on the track and you want to bring it in, you just push this green button, hold it down, and it'll come in and then let go. And make sure it doesn't go past this fence. If it goes past this fence, you're gonna have a hard time getting people out. And like I said, once the train goes past this brown box and that orange box, it's automatically into zone 3, because you're in zone 4 right now. Now I'll show you guys, this is some of the, these are all the lights in the building, right up there, that you see. They're all turned off right now, but these are all the light switches. This is how we control the Frontier Express. We have some major breaker switches here. And the one thing I love about this ride is that it's all blended in. It's all blended in with this look that the man and dog has behind them. You know, it's great. Raise that up. We open this up. That's more controls for the Frontier Express. This comes back down to hide it. We have this. This actually came off, but this is more. Here you have for guest services, switches, crazy sub, merry-go-round, the carousel, ticket box 1 and 2, pizza ceiling fans, everything. Monorail. That's the monorail breaker switch. It's turned on. So now, you lift this up, push it in, and lock it. Now it's locked. And this switch right here, this turns the monorail on and off. This turns it on and off. So, like right now, when you push it, it's off now. It doesn't matter if I push the E-stop down. The entire track, the electricity on the track is turned off because that's off now. But if we want to turn it back on, move that out of the way, and then, bam, it's back on. The electric's back on, that's it. This, I have never touched this before in my life, I'm not going to. But I just love how everything's blended in. Like whoever, I don't know if Wayne did all the paintwork up here, but I love how he blended everything in. Like it shows dedication, I love that. Now this chain over here, this is what we used to lift the trains off the track back in the day. It used to be. We would put the train right here. We would lower this chain down and put it underneath the wood over here, right over here. And then we would pull the chain, and it would lift the train up off the track.
The monorail track is, I'm guessing here, about 8 inches wide and maybe a foot deep. Underneath each of those trains, that 8-inch wide by 1 foot deep is completely wrapped with wheels on 3 sides. Now gravity keeps it down on the track. Now there has to be a little bit of play on that 8 inches, so if the track's 8 inches wide, the wheels are maybe 8.5 inches wide. So there's a little bit of play to enable it to make the turn smoothly. So therefore, if the weight of the person is in one side of the car, it's going to rock right. If it's in the left side, it's going to rock left. And with the shifting of your body weight inside that train, it's going to rock left and right. I assure you they're going nowhere. There's no way they can come off. They'd have to be lifted off of that track.
Here we have a couple of other ones. These have been laying in here for years. I've never touched these. These have probably been in here for decades. These are older ones. These are probably all for all the trains, I think, just in case. That's about it. I'll show you guys. We're gonna move this train up. Little secret about these trains, you can push them forward, you can't pull them back. Now, some of you might be wondering, what's behind this door? Not an exit. What is this? I'll show you. Solid concrete.
Don't
you know what's behind these screens? Solid concrete!
So that's what's behind the door. It's not an exit, but that's what's behind here. And also we have the ticket sign here. Right here, it's a little rundown. We have baggage over here. You know, looks all nice. But basically, that's it. So I'm gonna close this up now. There we go. So yeah, that's pretty much the Frontier Express. Now this gate right here, we have this gate here because when the train pulls up, if kids want to run back up to the train when they're leaving, they can't fall over there. You know, so this is here as a safety precaution. We had the Red Raider was here, and you got on the Red Raider, and it took you through the tunnel because the tunnel was wider, it was a lot bigger, and it took you all the way out on the track inside the building, and it took you twice inside the building, and that was the Red Raider originally. But in the mid '80s, they changed it to the Frontier Express, and they changed it to go outside, and we got the trains. Chuffy Chug, the train is called, right? Yeah, we have the paperwork. It's called Chuffy Chug. Sorry to disappoint you. But yeah, so that's the Frontier Express. Because the line never stops. Every day it piles up more and more and more.
Every day it piles up more and more and more, and you gotta get it up, and the more you get out, the more it keeps coming in, and then the barcode reader breaks, and it's Publishers Clearinghouse.
All right.